Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. So, today we're going to be going over the polish pickup offerings for December 2025, which was Maker's Choice. So, the marketplace opens on December 5th. So, I am 3 days ahead with my take again. And again, as always, before I dive into this, I want to always give credit where credit is due. And so I was inspired to make this content by Polished Yogi, who is also here on YouTube. If you're watching me, you probably know who she is. Much bigger nail content creator on this platform. And to be honest, I was talking to a friend of mine about this. I like watching her PP videos because I feel like she's very intentional. She points out unique polishes. And given that she's been around in this community for many years, I tend to trust her judgment. And so I feel like she kind of de-influences me a little bit, which I appreciate because I do not need any more polish. But with that being said, I do have my eye on, I think, 3 or 4 items from this month's PPU. If I will actually purchase, that's still up in the air, but I do just want to share the things that I'm kind of eyeing. I will go through all the listings, just because I tend to um, use all the products that are offered on PPU. And whether I buy them or not, that's a whole nother thing. But I am a consumer of all these products, so it just makes sense for me to talk about all of them. And as a disclaimer, I will also be skipping the brands that I think have values that do not align with my own. So now that I'm done babbling, let's get into this. So I'm gonna go ahead and click into all the listings. And I always say this, I'm going to try to be organized, but if that actually happens, we will see. So 1422 designs. I think this is beautiful. I love the combination of pink and pink shimmer with this blue base. But right off the bat, one of the polishes that I am thinking of with just by looking at this are Cowboy Tears from Holo Taco, or I believe it's called like Blue Dragonfly or something like that, which was another PPU offering. Um, or maybe it was HHC, I'm not sure. But that one's by Nothing Basic. And again, I'll try to insert swatches here as we go. But those are the things that I'm thinking about. Um, the one thing always, with this kind of texture is like the holographic flakies. I don't know why, but I just don't find that texture to be super appealing. Even though it's beautiful, like this is a really beautiful photo here. Um, but yeah, something about that texture, it just isn't for me. So in my opinion, Cowboy Tears and the Dragonfly from Nothing Basic are both better. And also like this is a jelly, not that I, care because I love jellies, but the other two I feel like are a little more opaque with that beautiful shimmer again. I'm not gonna go over this. I go over this every single video. My opinions are still the same. I will probably not purchase just because I feel like this is something that I can make at home, but maybe one day I will actually try it out. Amaya, again, not a brand that I'm super familiar with. I think I only have maybe one polish from this brand. I believe this is a magnetic. Yeah. I just have to say that I really love the base on this. It's kind of like this olivey tone, and I love the combination of pink and olive together. So I think that's really awesome and really beautiful. But I continue that trend of mine of not being in the market for magnetic. So that's why I would pass on this particular polish. I also can't really think of any dupes off the top of my head while I'm recording this. If I do think of dupes while I'm editing, I'll try to insert those. But I think this is a unique polish, but I just am not in the market for any type of magnetic. Alchemy Lacquers. I believe this is a thermal solar. Really, really cool. Um, like in general, I always love looking at these solar thermals, even though will not be purchasing, just because I don't know, it's just like the shelf life on these just stresses me out. That's really what it always comes down to. But I think this is beautiful. I think all the different phases of this particular polish are really beautiful. person did a great job swatching it. I feel like solar thermals have kind of become a little more popular and like more and more brands are playing around with the what am I trying to say? With the concept of a solar thermal. And I think that there are only so many combinations of this that we can see. So I do feel like if I thought hard enough, I would be able to come up with a dupe. Um, but like as I'm sitting here, I can't. I haven't thought of one. But again, I just do think that the permutations and combinations of solars and thermals is like limited. It's not infinite. So I would not be surprised if there was something very, very similar to this polish that already existed. All right, all mixed up lacquers. I thought this was so fun. They took holiday, the holiday season, and decided to continue celebrating Halloween, which I am all here for. Like that spooky season is my favorite time of year, and so I really appreciate that they just kept going with it. Natalie, who I have to mention on almost every single one of my videos, of course, Natalie from Natalie's Neat Nails. I think she just recently swatched this. So I'm filming this on December 2nd, and I feel like it was today that I saw a swatch of this go up. And I believe this is her swatch right here, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think this is really fun, really beautiful. I will not be purchasing it just because I just know that as much as I love the visual of this, it's not something that I would reach for or actually ever wear. So I'll be passing for that reason. Baron X, what I have said before is maintained with this as well. I am not in the market for any type of magnetic polishes. Um, so yeah, so I'll be passing on this. I cannot think of any dupes off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, I think you could get this effect if you use like a silver polish and then used a magnetic polish that had like that yellow pigment in it or the gold metallic pigment. Um, but I can't think of any dupes right off the top of my head that are this particular combination. So Fruit Loops. I don't know if it was this one or another brand, but I did get the Fruit Loop scent in a top coat, and it was nice at first because I do tend to love like Fruit Loops is a nostalgic scent for me. Um And so I remember just feeling that nostalgia, but the scent in general is also very, very, very sweet, which is kind of off-putting when you have that on your nails all the time. Um, so yeah, take that how you will. Like it's not a bad scent. It smells just like Fruit Loops. Because I think that was the top coat, not a base coat. But I just remember kind of being put off by always smelling that sweet smell. So, when it comes to like scented top coats and stuff, I always prefer kind of like fruity things. Like, there's one that was like raspberries or raspberry crushed berries or something like that that I love. That one was delicious. And then also like things that maybe smell peachy. Those are the kind of things that I always lean into when it comes to scents. So take that how you will. That's like definitely personal preference. Hit the bottle. They're here with another base coat, which is awesome. I've heard only good things about this particular base coat. I've not tried it myself. I'm not like really into these peely bases just because I don't know. It's like one of those things where like glitter polishes tend to come off pretty easily on me. And I think it's because my nails are usually pretty oily when I'm applying polishes anyway. I never wear polish for more than one day. And also, my history of using peelies is that because my nails are always so oiled, and I'd much rather have oily nails than dry nails, peelies just do not last on my nails. They will pop off. Um, and yeah, and so I don't know. It's just like I have, a couple peel off base coats, but they just honestly sit there. Like it's very rare that I'll reach for it or use it. So that's the only reason why I've kind of passed on that. I feel like I should show myself that I have this like pattern of using it more consistently before I purchase it. All right. BCB lacquers. I think this is a stunning magnetic. I love this color combination. But again, just because it's a magnetic, I will not be purchasing, but I just love all the different shifts. All this color combination is definitely one of my favorite combinations. Like I remember growing up, I would always constantly mix like magenta, purpley tones, greens. Like it's just a combination I really enjoy. So really beautiful polish, but I will be passing. Bow Revs. This is really pretty. And the one thing I really like is I feel like this was supposed to be like an extension of a collection that they dropped around Black Friday. And so I really love that concept of that just because I don't know. Like mentally I feel like I've constantly like thought of that. Like I was like, "Oh, was this polish inspired by this collection that this brand just recently dropped?" And the fact that they kind of just I think they said it on their Facebook page. But the fact that they kind of like said that, I might be making this up, but I thought I saw that. I just thought that was really cool and like I just love that idea. I did not purchase that collection, just because I kind of felt like I had similar polishes or polishes that would scratch that itch for me in my collection. I feel like I do have a dupe of this particular polish in my current collection. I just can't think of which one it would be off the top of my head, but it's probably one from Polish or Polish for Days or um like Monarch Lacquer, I feel like came out with something like this. Again, if I can think of the dupes when I'm editing, I will make sure to insert them, but I'm pretty sure I have something very similar to this in my collection. Maybe a Lumen or Ethereal, something. Like I know that I have something similar to this. So I love Bow Revs, definitely one of my favorite brands, but I'm going to be passing on this particular one. Bee's Knees, another brand. I really plan to focus a lot on this brand in the coming future because I have a whole drawer full of Bee's Knees polishes that I just never use or haven't even swatched, honestly. And it's not because I don't love them. It's just I don't know why. Like I like think my focus is constantly pulled by all these other things. So one of my goals is to kind of focus more on like playing around with this brand a little bit more. I think this is also a gorgeous polish. The only thing is, I feel like this is kind of redundant. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like we've seen something like this before from Bee's Knees, if not from other brands. Let's just read the description. So it's supposed to be a dark blue polish with a mosaic magnetic. So I feel like upon first glance, it looks like an ordinary pink multichrome. When magnetized, you'll see both a bright pink as well as a bright blue magnetic pigment. I don't know. See, like, I guess here in this picture, you kind of see the pink, or like it looks purple to me, but maybe that's because it's mixing with the blue. I just don't see the pink. Like, I love the idea of this mosaic magnet, but this looks very much one tone to me and not like multi-toned. So, I don't know. I mean, that's regardless. Like, I feel like we've seen this before. That was kind of the point I was trying to get at. So, yeah, I'm going to be passing on that. Not in the market for magnetics. Bluebird. I think this is really pretty. Again, that texture of these metallic kind of flakies. Oh, shattered hollow, interesting. I don't know. Again, that's kind of always what deters me. Like I just don't like the texture that it creates. And I think it's like I don't mind the texture if it was like another color, but it's just a silver kind of texture. I don't know, something about it is just not for me. So, yeah. So I will be passing on that. Danny Viana, another brand that I have like not I don't have like a whole drawer full. I definitely bought I think one collection from this particular brand. I think this is beautiful. This definitely feels very holiday-esque. Um and so good job with that. I was kind of expecting more of that, I guess, for December's PPU, but I'm also glad that that isn't the case because I am not a fan of the combination of red and green together like 90% of the time. I'm just not into it. So I kind of like that we're not getting that. But yeah, I'm going to be passing on that just because I don't know. It's just not something I'm intrigued with right now. Cadillac lacquers. This is a really beautiful shot. Great job to whoever did that. This is yeah, also very beautiful shot. I think this is a really beautiful polish. It's magnetic, and again, that's the reason why I'm going to be passing on it. But I just think this is really pretty. Um, I love that. I love it. But it's a magnetic, so I'm going to be passing. Camel colors. So I've been really into this kind of texture. So like, remember I was talking about like how I like this like microflake when it's a color. This like is what I'm talking about. Like I love that the microflakes that kind of stand out are like that blue. And yeah, I just think this is really beautiful. I feel like Envy came out with something like this last month, but it was gold. It was like gold, a gold base with this blue fleck in it. Um, and I did end up purchasing that one. So yeah, but I'm gonna pass on this. Silver is not a color that I really pull off that well. I am very like olivey, new olive cool, I guess. And so I tend to prefer wearing gold colors. Like silver just kind of looks a little too icy on me, but I think this is stunning. And again, very reminiscent of that Envy Lacquers polish. I'll again insert a swatch while I'm editing. Chameleon Nails, another brand that I really, really love. I think this is really beautiful. A hot, like a my nice, it's like magenta pink, right? With this like green shimmer in it. Really beautiful. I will not be purchasing this. I'm never like into like glow polishes. Um, that's interesting that it turns from purple. Oh, when it's not completely dark. Yeah, I love that. So when it's not completely dark, it's purple, but when it is dark, it's this blue. That's cool. But yeah, I'm just also not usually into glow polishes because I do not participate in too many night activities. And um I don't know. Yeah, it's just not something that I'm super like intrigued by. I think the polish itself is pretty, but I feel like I could use like a magenta base and then a green shimmer topper, and I would have this polish essentially. Cleonata. Remember the days when I could not say that? Someone in the comments taught me, and so I'm really grateful because thank you for helping me not look like an idiot. But again, magnetic, so I'll not be purchasing. I think that's beautiful. I love the metallic, the metallic flakies and how they, it says like pink to yellow shifting metallic flakes. I think that's really beautiful, but I'm gonna be passing on that as well. Colores de Carol. Ooh, this is kind of pretty. Like it feels like one of these pictures had this like purple shift in it or something. I don't know. Maybe I just, oh yeah, here. Yeah, I think this is really beautiful. Really beautiful shot here. I'm gonna be again passing just because it's a magnetic and I'm not in the market for magnetics right now. But I do really love this base. Like it's really beautiful and I love the contrast of the base with this bright green magnetic multichrome. Did I say multichrome? I just meant magnetic, but it does say multichrome there. Um, Cracked. I think this is also really pretty. I think the one thing is like I kind of like again with cracked with these pictures like there's just not a whole lot of consistency. Because like in some of these pictures that green shimmer looks so vibrant or so much brighter, but then in other pictures it doesn't. And I think for me, I really want that green shimmer to be vibrant. Like I want more of that in a polish like this because that would make it more intriguing for me. But just in general, like I don't know, I've said this before, like just inconsistencies in the photos, it's kind of hard to tell what you're gonna get. Basically, I would want the base color to be that same thing with like a bright green shimmer. I think that would be really pretty. Um, Big old hoops. I do love the name. I do love the name. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be passing on that. This is really beautiful too, but I feel like there's something very similar to this from Lurid Lacquer. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. That's another brand that I have a lot of polishes from, but that I need to really like sit down and play with. But I feel like there is something very similar to this from that brand. I love the name Baja Blast. I used to love Baja Blast from Taco Bell. Um, I still every once in a while get like a Baja Blast fountain drink from there. But yeah, very on brand. They hit the nail on the head. But again, I do feel like I have a dupe of this from Lurid. I do love this cuticle cream. I don't know about the specific scent. Bayberry pine. I don't even know what a bayberry is. Um, but yeah, I do love this cuticle, like what's it called? A balm, cuticle balm. I do really enjoy it. I have plenty of cuticle balms right now that I need to work through, so I will not be purchasing for that reason. Um, BCB lacquers, I've been really loving these like oils. I have a few of them. And I've been loving the scent notes. Like there's one that I'm using right now. I can't think of the name. It came out a few months ago, but it's just a very like it's both masculine and feminine. It has these undertones of like cologne with this like fruity like smell in it, and I just adore using that oil. Like it just, I don't know, it's always just a very nice little break when I'm sitting there oiling my nails with that. But red berry apple greens, camphor, this sounds so dreamy. I'm gonna pass, but it does sound really like a really beautiful scent. Um, I do love the name too. My people skills are rusty. My people skills, I don't know. I don't think they're rusty, but I also should not be judging myself on that particular thing. All right, Cuticula, Berry Lit. I think the base color of this is so pretty. Again, those silver holographic flakies are just not for me. I'm not into the silver, the contrast of the silver. I would much prefer it to be another color. But with that being said, the base, I am sure I have a polish in my collection that has the same base, and I love it. I love the base. Would I, yeah, so I'm not gonna be purchasing this, but that's just my take. Dom nails. This was one that I think is really beautiful and is going to go on my wish list. I might take this off. I'm not sure, just because I feel like I might have something similar to this. I know, what is it? Lurid, it's sparkling indecision is very similar to this, except for I think the base on the Dom is a little bit darker. Um, let's see, a black jelly. Yeah, I don't think the one from Lurid is a black jelly, but it kind of like scratches the same edge because I love that like kind of gray neutral base with that bright pink shimmer in it. Pink, orange, yeah. So I think this is really beautiful. Um, but it'll be TBD about whether or not I purchase it, but it is on my wish list for right now. Danglefoot, another magnetic. I don't really have a lot of polishes from Danglefoot. But in general, I think this is nice. I feel like I like in my head want to say that Cracked has something similar to this, but I might be wrong. I will double check my collection to see if I have something like this from Cracked. But again, I feel like this is one where you could get that green base and then find like a nice silver magnetic, and you'd have that. Like Holo Taco has a silver magnetic that you could put on top of it that came out in the Bon Voyage collection. Crack just came out with a silver magnetic topper. So I feel like that this is easily dupable. But yeah. Dreamland Lacquers. I think this is a stunning polish. I also want to say that I might have something very similar from this. I bought this collection from Monarch recently, and they had a red in it. I can't remember off the top of my head if it was like more magenta leaning or if it was like a brighter red. I'll have to double check. And I'll insert a swatch just so you can see what polish I'm talking about. But I think this is beautiful. I will not be purchasing just because I bought so many flakies recently, and I need to give those some love before I proceed. Oh, and then DRK nails. So look, so this is very similar to that bee's knees that we saw earlier. Um, so I don't know. I mean, it's not the same because this one has those like copper and holographic microflakes in it, but it's very, very similar. So yeah. I am not too familiar with DRK nails. I actually just bought a lot of like glitters from them because I want to start kind of playing around with making my own polish. Not for sale, like maybe one day, but I live in a really small apartment right now. And so like trying to like produce polish for sale in the space would probably not be good for my health. So I'm gonna put that off, but I was just thinking about making one or two polishes like on a smaller scale just for my own enjoyment to see if I could kind of dupe other polishes. But I did buy some glitters from DRK Nails, some like products. So this one was another one that is going to go on my wish list. I think this is so stunning. And this is an example of one of those, yeah, that was like an extension of a collection that they just recently released, which I thought was really cool. I did not purchase that collection. Um, but yeah, Garden Path has really been like in my opinion, they've been doing a really amazing job with polishes that they've been putting on PPU and HHC. I've been really liking a lot of the things that they've been putting out, and this is like an example of that as well. I think it's so pretty. I think it's unique. I don't think I have anything like this in my collection already. So I really like that. And it's like one of the only times that I'm like, oh, a silver holographic microflake. give it to me. Like this is one of the only times that I've like kind of been into that. So, yeah, pretty cool. I love that. A gift card, Glam Polish. Again, I have things from Glam Polish. I bought a lot of Glam Polish secondhand. Um, and I haven't really used any of it, but I think this is pretty. It's just not really for me. I'm gonna skip on that. This is another one that I really want to try. So in the scent notes, it talked about jasmine and vanilla, I believe. And I am a sucker for anything. Yeah, here. I'm a sucker for anything with jasmine in it. Like that's one of my favorite scents in the entire world. Um, Patchouli. I love patchouli too. So like, yeah, so that is gonna go on my wish list. Haunted polish, another polish. I just feel like again that I've seen this before. I would say I like feel like Lurid has come out with something similar to this. Maybe something from Mooncat, maybe something from Cracked. I just feel like we've seen this before. And so again, like this is just another month where I feel like they kind of have not given me, I don't know why. Like maybe it's because like Haunted, like I loved Ethereal. Like Ethereal was my one of my favorite brands for the longest time. And I think like when Honda came out, I think I was expecting something that was like new and innovative and like different. And they have beautiful branding. Like these bottles are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love looking at the bottles. But the polishes themselves, like I don't know what I was expecting. Like maybe I'm being too harsh and I can fully like own that and accept that. But I think I was just expecting something very different. But so far I just feel like I haven't seen anything that is like super different or out of the box. Like if you compare a garden path lacquer like this, I feel like is very unique. This is a base color with shimmer in it. Like the combinations, like at this point in the nail polish community, when you're like making a polish, it's kind of about like the combinations that you can come up with that will make something truly stand out and be different. And I just feel like this is something where they like put together a bunch of things that like and again in a certain combination that would be really hard to dupe, but this is something that like has already been done and would be really easy to dupe. So I don't know. Again, I you can give me the criticism if you think I'm being too hard. Sometimes I need to hear that, but that's just my take. Hearts and Promises. I think this is really beautiful. I love the base color on this a lot. Definitely one of my favorite colors to wear. I love that kind of like they describe it as a marine blue, but to me it like reads as like cobalt blue. And I love the pink shimmer, like pink and blue together. I don't know. It always makes me think of Valentine's Day for some reason. Um, so yeah, I really love that. I'm not gonna be purchasing just because I feel like this is also something that I can easily dupe. Get a cobalt blue jelly from Cirque, and then like a pink shimmer from like Holo Taco, a sh pink shimmer topper, and you'd have something similar to that. But I think it's beautiful. Um, Indie Bay Patty Lopez. Again, I think this is beautiful too. I do tend to love like these green and blue kind of tones with that pink shimmer. But again, I feel like what I said for the other one was also the same. Like I feel like I could dupe this just by using a like teal jelly and then putting like one of the Aurora shimmer toppers that I have on top of it. Jen and Berries, I also think this is really beautiful. This is like another example of that like I just don't think that this would be easily dupable. I could be wrong, but I think this is so pretty. And like originally, this was not going to be on my wish list, but I think I'm kind of sold on it. It just also feels like it does remind me of Electric Lights on on a String by Kathleen and Co. I don't own that one, so I can't tell you because I haven't I would have to pull up a swatch photo to kind of be able to compare the two. But like I think I don't know why. Like I keep thinking about that polish right now while I'm like looking at this. So maybe it's a dupe. I'll when I'm editing this, I'll insert a swatch photo in and we can see. I do love that it's inspired by Dead Mouse. One of my favorite like DJs. Is that he's a DJ? So yeah, very pretty. Kathleen and Co. Speak of the devil. I think this is really pretty. I love this lighter tone of blue um on this polish. I'm not in the market for any type of thermals right now, so that's why I'm going to pass on this. But I do just have to say I really love that lighter base color. I think it's so pretty. Um, KB shimmers, everything is pine. So I think this is also really beautiful, but how many times have I said this so far? Like the holographic flakes, the silver holographic flakes is always kind of what deters me. Again, something about that texture that it gives is just not something that I'm into. So I think it's pretty, but I'm gonna pass. I think this is really pretty too. I'm gonna pass on this. I'm not gonna get it. I also would not be surprised if I already had a dupe of this in my collection. I would have to look. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but yeah, I love this combination. I think it's really pretty, but I'm going to pass on that. Lumen, another polish, another maker that I really, really adore. I've been like sitting on this for a long time, but I want to make a video reviewing their Scorpio collection because I'm a Scorpio. And so I don't know why I've just been like putting it off for some reason. Sometimes like I do that where like sometimes, I have an idea, but like it's like wanting to sit down and enjoy making a video and taking the time to make a video is kind of what has made me procrastinate it at the same time. I need to just sit down and do it because I really do want to make that video. Um, but yeah, so like I think this is really beautiful. But again, it's always those like holographic flakies, just the texture of it. I'm just not into it. But I do love Lumen in general. Lynn B, I'm your Dingleberry. That is such a funny name. I think this is really pretty, but it reminds me of Casa de Heaven from Uno Mas, or what is the other one? House of Hades. Yeah, House of Hades from Mooncat. I do want to ask one of my friends, Natalie, who again I mentioned her earlier. I believe she got this in PR and was able to swatch it. And I do want to ask her if she feels like it's a similar polish to that. I think this is her swatch right here. Um, because that's what I'm reminded of when I look at this, but maybe it isn't a dupe. I don't know. And then also I have purchased this, I believe. No, I haven't. I purchased their water-based top coat, but I do have something similar to this particular product from Tyler's Trinkets. So I'm gonna pass on that. Um, I know everyone's gonna go over this. I have not purchased anything from with this print. Um, And I'm not, to be honest, I'm not super like interested in it either, but I just hope that everyone who does like this print does end up getting it. And I love that like she's showing other brands in here. But yeah, anyway, all right, this I am really actually kind of surprised that I'm into. I think it's because like Watcha came out with this polish called Depth and Perception or something like that. It was like I think it was from the Illusions or like something. It was one of the Polish pickup like last month or the month before. And like it kind of created this like texture of like static on a TV. Like back in the day when we we used to have static on the TV. And I think this is just reminding me of that. So that's why like I'm really intrigued by it. I'm not going to purchase this because honestly I know that I will not wear it, but I love the texture that it creates. Moonshine Manny. I think this is really pretty. Um, yeah, I think this is really pretty. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. I love the jelly, like the layered jelly, like texture that all that I can't talk. I love the texture that like layered jellies kind of give and like all the depth that you kind of get in it. So, yeah, I think this is beautiful, but not for me this month. Um, Moth and Moon. I I like have such mixed feelings about this because I feel like they always come out with all of these magnetics and I don't know, I'm just not here for that. So, yeah, I just feel like whenever I log onto their site, like every Friday when they have like restocks, it's always like 80% magnetics. And so, I don't know, just a little put off by that. This I have used, I do really enjoy it. It's a great tool. I haven't really used it too much before, but when I was really into stamping, I used to use it a lot more just to clean off my plates, and it was really awesome. This nailed it. So I've had such a tumultuous like not like road relationship, a 2 week relationship with this because when I first saw it, I think I saw like this photo and I didn't realize it was a thermal. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. I need it so bad. But it is a thermal, and so I will be passing on it. Or no, it's a solar, but I'll be passing on it for that reason. But I do feel like in each of these colors, like I feel like Mooncat, we do have a polish like this from Mooncat or like Lin B, I believe has one, and maybe even Polish for Days or Polish, one of them. So yeah, like I feel like I have a dupe of that. And then in terms of this, I feel like I have a dupe from Lin B that is similar to that. But yeah, I was like kind of set on not purchasing this month. And then I saw this polish and I was like not I saw like one of the states of transition. It was this lighter one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. Like I need that. Um, this I think is pretty. It kind of again reminds me of like all the things that Garden Path Lacquer has been doing recently. Um, so yeah, I think this is beautiful. I'm not gonna be purchasing this just because I don't know. I'm just okay, wait, this picture is really doing something to me. I do love that like black kind of like base, holographic base with that shimmer. Like, I love that finish. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on this. Really cute. I love again seeing all the little cat videos with cats playing with these toys. This is really beautiful, and I have to get this. Just I did buy this full collection of the like I forgot what it was called. Wife of a Showgirl collection from Polish. Why was I like blanking on that? And I feel like I have to get this to like complete that collection. So yeah. Uh yeah. That's really the only reason. Um Paint it pretty. This is a magnetic, so I'm gonna be passing on that. I think it's pretty, and I love again this olive base. It kind of reminds me of that polish we saw earlier, except for this has more of like a purple magnetic, it looks like. Yeah, blue purple pull. So yeah. Um, Paradox polish. Again, I'm not super familiar with this brand. I do love these gray bases with this like colorful flaky in it. I am a sucker for that. There's a kind of new brand, Raven Eye Lacquer, who I do swatch for, but she came out with a polish called Karma for Dharma, which was named after two of her cats, I believe, if I remember correctly. But that polish reminds me of this, except for I think the base on that one is just a little bit lighter, but it kind of gives she has like these metallic flakies in it. And I love, like, to me, like, I like feel like I romanticize everything, but it kind of reminds me of like stone that's like marbled with like minerals and things like that. And so I don't know, that's just what I really love about these kind of combinations. But because I have Karma for Dharma and I was gifted that in exchange for swatch photos, I'm gonna pass on this one because I do feel like I have something very similar. Penelope Lou's, I love the combination of pink and blue, but again, I feel like from Penelope Lou's, we always see these magnetics, and I kind of wish that we would see something different from them sometimes. But yeah, a beautiful polish. I'm not in the market for magnetics. Phoenix, another one. I think this is beautiful. Like I love this like green with that pink purple shimmer in it. But there it is a magnetic again, so I'll be passing on that. And again, Phoenix I feel like does do a lot of magnetics, and so sometimes I wish I would see something different from them. I think like last month they did do something different, but I just feel like I always see magnetics from them. So PI colors. This was another one where I saw the swatch and I was like, I need that. But I am really going to look through my collection because I have a feeling that I have a dupe of this. PI colors is another one, or pie colors. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they say that, but I feel like I have something very similar. In general, pie colors like is one of those brands where I feel like they can come out with anything and I'm just gonna love it. Um, but yeah, so it's gonna go on my wish list for now, but I do have a feeling that I have something very similar to this already in my collection. And if I do find it, I will put it up on the screen. Oh, this is also, I mean, it's pretty. again, the texture is just always what gets me, that holographic multi-flake. And it says that it's a gold teal shifting shimmer. Oh no, it is just a holographic multi-flake. Yeah, again, just the texture of that, something about it is not for me. I'm not going to purchase this because I have three of these in my collection right now that I need to like use up, but I do have FOMO over the scent. I really wish that I did not have so many cuticle oils because I would otherwise purchase this. Again, I love the way that this like product works because I feel like it's truly a self-care moment. It's a moment for you to pause and pull out your little lip gloss. It's not a lip gloss, your cuticle oil and sit there and like take care of yourself. Um, Another brand that can never do any wrong. This is going on my wish list for sure. I love again that this is kind of an extension of that December collection. I feel like so many brands did that this month, and I really like adore that whole idea. I love purple. I love the texture that these Psych Minerals polishes creates. And yeah, I am here for that. Red Eye Lacquer. This is really pretty. I'm not going to get this. I do feel like I have a dupe of this in my collection already somewhere. And I will do my best to look through my collection to see what I have because I am like very, very sure that I have something similar. Or maybe like I think Nailed It. It was like from HHC. It was a polish that I wore that's very sentimental to me. And well, I think it's Love Always Wins, but very, very similar to this polish. And so, yes, I'll be passing on this, but I think this is stunning. This was another one. I like so badly want to buy this, but I also know that if I buy it, I'm not going to end up reaching for it. But I love, like, this is an example of those like flakies that create that beautiful contrast and they're not silver. And I love this. I really love this. Like, and I like part of me like this was another one that kind of extended into a collection that was released. And that collection, I think like the ones that had this kind of texture on it, I was so close to purchasing them. But again, it's just I just know that I will not reach for this polish. Like I love the pictures, the swatches did a beautiful job. But I just know that when it comes down to it, it's gonna sit in my collection. I'm not gonna wear it. Roy Lily. I really want to look through my collection because I have a feeling I have something very, very similar to this. But honestly, the name is what gets me with this one. Like, I want this on my wish list just because of the name. But I feel like I have a polish like this from Bee's Knees, from Lin B. Um, and yeah, I'll have to look. I think the only difference is that this one has the reflective glitter in it, whereas I don't think the Lin B does. I think the Lin B is just the shimmer. And I don't think it has holographic glitter in it either. But yeah, I love this. I love all the swatches I've seen of that polish. And I love the name. This is really, I love the shade of green. It reminds me of Pear Don't Bother Me from Holo Taco. I love wearing this shade of green like in clothes. This is a magnetic, and I'm talking about like this particular shade, like this combination that's created. I do love the base color by itself. Like it reminds me of Sunlit Moss from Cracked. Um, but yeah, I will be passing on this because magnetic, and I'm not here for magnetics right now. This is really pretty. Again, I'm usually not a fan of black flakies, black and ghost flakies. Maybe it's like the ghost flakies that are doing it for me. I think this is really pretty. I am not going to purchase because this is a thermal and I am going to be destashing a lot of my thermals here soon, but this swatch is like really selling this polish to me. Whoever did this did a really beautiful job. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna pass. Stella Chroma. I think this is such a beautiful polish. Again, the downside is just those silver holographic flakies. I'm not here for that, but the base color is stunning and it reminds me of Cracked Dijon Disco. I think this is such a stunning color. If it wasn't for the holographic flakies, I'd be all over this. Swamp Glass. Swamp Glass. So this is one that I was like so tempted to buy, but it's a thermal or a solar. Yeah, it's a thermal, so that's why I'm not going to buy this, but I was so tempted by it. I just love like hex glitters are a weakness of mine. Hex glitters mixed with these like iridescent flakies. The color aqua, like okay, this might go on my wish list. I might have to break my rules. But yeah, beautiful, really beautiful. I love a lot of the things that they create too. Um, Sweet and sour lacquer. I love this too. I think yeah, so they call it a blue violet pink shimmer. In some of these swatches, it reminds me of Citrus Drift from Broken Pixel. I don't think it's an exact dupe, but some of these pictures really make me think of that particular polish, and I adore that polish. I think that one's just an orange with pink shimmer though. It doesn't have a blue shimmer, but sometimes in certain lighting, this reads as like pink and not blue, or maybe I'm just my eyes are playing tricks on me. Like, yeah, to me sometimes that looks more pink than blue. I don't know. Anyway, beautiful polish. I will not be purchasing because again, I feel like Citrus Drift really just scratches that itch for me personally. Um, Tyler's Trinkets. I thought this was so pretty too. It reminds me of it's a Polish for Days polish. I think it's like 2025 or something like that. I think this is really pretty. I feel like I have a dupe of this though already in some form or fashion. So I'm gonna be passing on this, but I think it's pretty. Love this cream, one of my favorites. This I think is so stunning. Like this is gonna be 3 out of 3 for me. Watcha. I had a roommate who was Brazilian, and one time I don't usually do anything on New Year's, but one year she invited me out and we all wore white to kind of honor like her Brazilian tradition. And so maybe that's part of it, like the nostalgia around that memory. But I love the combination of these white hex glitters and all these different like shapes and sizes and the combination of the iridescent. I think this is stunning. And Zombie Claw. I think this is pretty as well. I do feel like I have a dupe of this in some form or fashion in my collection. So that's why I'm gonna be passing on this. Like I feel like Cracked has something very, very similar to this that I already have. So yeah, I'm gonna be passing. But yeah, let's look at my little wish list. Oh my gosh. So I seriously thought that I would only have like 3 or 4 things on my wish list. I think this is gonna get whittled down a lot. If I do end up purchasing. But what is this? 10 products. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was kind of helpful. I know I'm kind of like rambly, but honestly, I had a really long day today. I got on the wrong bus somehow. Like I swear it was supposed to be the bus I was supposed to be on. And at some point I look up and I'm like, I'm in South Philly. I live in like central, like north central Philly. And I was like, how did I end up in South Philly? And then I was like, it's raining. I'm trying to figure out how to like get off this bus, which I know how to do, but like get off this bus and then get back on the same bus, like the same number bus, going the opposite direction so that I can get back to like the bus that I'm supposed to be on. And that's the kind of day that I've had today. So I'm a little rambly. I feel like I'm decompressing now with all of you. So I appreciate you being here. And I hope that, you're having a good holiday season. I hope that there are more happy and joyous moments in your life than not happy and joyous moments. Because we do have to accept that that's the duality of life. But otherwise, I really hope you're finding those pockets of like peace and joy and all that. Um, and take care of yourself. Yeah, we all got to do that. But yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for being here and take care. Bye.